I wake up to the sound of my phone buzzing against my nightstand. Sharp, insistent. The kind of sound that cuts through sleep and burrows straight into my skull. Emergency alert. I blink against the glow of the screen. My vision adjusts slowly, still thick with sleep. The words come into focus, each letter clicking into place like a puzzle I don't want to solve. Emergency alert. Do not trust family members acting strange. Shelter in place. My thumb hovers over the screen. The words don't change. My mind struggles to catch up, lagging behind reality. An alert like this, what does it even mean? Outside my window, the sky is still gray with early morning light. The world looks the same. Normal. A shuffling sound from the hallway. Maya. My sister. I push back my blankets, sit up. My room feels colder than usual. The air heavy wrong. The phone is still in my hand, and I can't stop rereading the message. Do not trust family members acting strange. What does strange mean? The hallway creaks. I swallow hard and force myself to stand. When I step into the hall, I hear the low hum of the television from the living room. The emergency alert tone, that long, flat siren-like beep, droning in the background. Maya is in the kitchen. She's standing by the stove making breakfast. She doesn't turn when I enter, just hums softly under her breath. The same song Mom used to sing when we were kids. But the melody is off. The emergency alert plays again, a robotic voice reading the same message over and over. This is a statewide emergency. Do not trust family members acting strange. Shelter in place until further instructions. Maya hums louder. I clear my throat. Did you see the alert? She doesn't answer at first. Just keeps scrambling eggs, slow, methodical. Then finally, I did. A pause. Too long. She tilts her head, just slightly, before turning to look at me. Her face is neutral. Calm. I try to smile. Weird, right? Another pause. Then she nods. Yeah, weird. She sets 2 plates on the counter. Scrambled eggs, toast, a strip of bacon each. I sit down. The plate in front of me is neatly arranged, too neatly. Maya's always been a messy eater, leaving crumbs everywhere, mixing syrup into her eggs like a psychopath. But today, everything is perfect. I glance at her. She's eating slowly, deliberately. Outside, I hear footsteps. Someone walking down the street. Not hurried, not frantic, just moving. I stand up and cross to the window. The street looks normal at first glance. Driveways, parked cars, the Hendersons' ugly lawn flamingo. Then I see Mr. Dawson. He's standing at the end of our driveway. Just standing there. He's wearing his usual beige jacket, hands tucked into his pockets, but his posture is stiff. Wrong. His lips are moving, but he's not speaking loud enough for me to hear. He's just whispering to himself. A chill runs through me. Maya's fork scrapes against her plate. What's wrong? I don't answer. Just step back from the window. The emergency alert tone blares again. I grab the remote and turn up the volume. The screen is stuck on a red and black warning banner, the words looping. Do not trust family members acting strange. Shelter in place. Maya watches me. Her expression is unreadable. I check my phone again. No signal. No messages. I try calling Mom, then Dad. Both calls fail immediately. I don't think we should go outside, I say finally. Maya nods, but there's something off in her eyes. She looks like she's considering something, measuring something. The alert repeats. And then, the voice glitches. For half a second, it distorts, garbling into something else. A lower tone layered beneath the robotic warning. Something that almost sounds like a whisper. A single, warped phrase buried in static. If they look the same, but don't act the same, they are not. Then the message returns to normal. I turn to Maya. She's already looking at me. She tilts her head again, just slightly, just enough to make my stomach drop. You okay? I ask. She smiles. Too wide. Of course. I don't move. The eggs on my plate feel cold now, untouched. Outside, Mr. Dawson is still standing at the edge of the driveway, still whispering. I don't know why, but I don't open the door. Maya clears her plate. Slow, careful movements. Fork scraping against ceramic, metal clinking. Like she's making noise on purpose, like she's reminding me she's here. I haven't touched my food. The emergency broadcast is still playing, the words looping, but I can't stop thinking about what I heard earlier. That glitch in the message. If they look the same, but don't act the same, they are not. Did Maya hear it? I watch her. She rinses her plate, scrubs it clean. I half expect her to leave something behind, a smudge of egg, a stubborn bit of toast, but when she places it in the drying rack, it's spotless. Maya never cleans like that. I force myself to move, pick up my plate, scrape my untouched food into the trash. When I step past her to put the dish in the sink, I catch a whiff of her shampoo. Lavender, the same scent she always uses. But I can't shake the thought, would something else smell like her too? The hairs on my arms prickle. A knock at the door. I freeze. Maya does too. For a second, we just stand there listening. Another knock. A slow, deliberate rhythm. Not hurried, not frantic. Just patient. I step toward the window, just far enough to see Mr. Dawson, still standing there, still whispering. From this angle, I can see his lips moving, but I still can't hear the words. His hands are in his pockets. His eyes are open too wide, unblinking. The skin around his mouth is raw, like he's been chewing the inside of his cheeks. My stomach twists. Maya's voice is soft. Don't open it. It's the first normal thing she said all morning. I nod, take a slow step back. The emergency alert tone blares again, and for a second, I swear Dawson twitches like the sound bothers him. His mouth stops moving, his lips pressed together too tightly. Then, without a word, he turns and walks away. I exhale. Maya is still watching the door, her hands gripping the counter. We should lock everything, I say. We already did, she answers. I frown. I don't remember locking the door. Don't remember Maya doing it either. Last night, she says. Before bed. A simple explanation. A reasonable one. So why does my stomach still feel twisted? I step past her and check the door anyway. The deadbolt is engaged. The chain is latched. My fingers hesitate over the lock, something deep in my brain whispering, what if it wasn't locked a second ago? I force the thought away. Maya disappears down the hall, into her room. The door clicks shut. I stand in the living room, listening to the television. Emergency alert. Do not trust family members acting strange. Shelter in place. The message hasn't changed. Not yet. I grab my phone from the table. No new messages. No missed calls. The Wi-Fi icon is gone, and my signal is dead. I try calling Mom again. Call failed. Dad. Call failed. I check the news app, but it won't load. Same with my social feeds. Every web page I try is a blank, empty void. Outside, the street is eerily quiet. No cars. No birds. No distant hum of lawnmowers or barking dogs. Just nothing. I move to the hallway. Maya's door is shut. The light is off. I hesitate for a moment before knocking. Silence. I knock again. Hey, you good? For a second, nothing. Then, yeah, her voice sounds normal, but somehow that makes it worse. I press my palm flat against the door. The wood feels ice cold. I'm gonna check the basement, I say. See if the radio still works. No response. I swallow hard and turn away. The basement stairs creak under my weight. The air is colder down here, thick with dust and concrete damp. The single hanging light bulb flickers as I pull the chain. The old radio is where it's always been, sitting on Dad's workbench, half buried under old tools and tangled wires. It's a crank radio, the kind made for emergencies, and when I turn the knob, static hisses from the speaker. I start tuning. Most frequencies are dead. Then, a weak voice buried in the static. Not safe, listen carefully, they are changing. My pulse hammers. I crank the volume up. Hello, who is this? More static. The voice cuts in and out. If they look the same, but don't act the same. My blood turns to ice. They are not. A loud thump from upstairs. I spin around, heart slamming into my ribs. Silence. Then slow footsteps. I kill the radio and move to the bottom of the stairs. Maya? No answer. I swallow hard and step up onto the first stair. The house creaks above me. Another footstep. I climb slow, careful. The air feels thick. At the top of the stairs, I pause. Maya is in the hallway. Her back is to me. She's standing perfectly still, head tilted slightly, like she's listening to something I can't hear. A sick feeling crawls up my spine. Maya? She doesn't turn, doesn't move. The emergency alert tone screeches from the TV. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I pull it out. A new notification. Emergency alert update. Do not trust the ones who remember. The air rushes out of my lungs. I look up. Maya is staring at me now. And she is smiling. Maya is smiling. It's not a normal smile. It's too still, too measured, like she's holding it in place for my sake. like she's waiting for me to react. My fingers tighten around my phone. The alert is still glowing on the screen. Do not trust the ones who remember. I force myself to breathe. What does that mean? Maya? My voice is tight, forced. She doesn't blink. Yeah. I swallow. My throat is dry. She's watching me too closely, like she's trying to memorize the way I stand, the way I breathe. I lower my phone, flipping the screen down so she can't see it. Her smile doesn't change. I was just checking the basement, I say. Thought I heard something. A beat of silence. Then, did you? The way she says it makes my skin crawl. Not like she's curious. Like she already knows the answer. I shake my head. No. Just the house settling. Maya's expression doesn't shift. Doesn't falter. But after a long, stretched out moment, she finally nods. Yeah, she says. Houses do that. She turns and walks into the kitchen. I exhale, but it does nothing to steady me. Something is wrong with her. No, something is wrong with everything. I check the locks again. The doors, the windows. Every latch, every deadbolt. My hands move on autopilot, pressing down, testing. Maya watches me from the couch. I can feel her eyes on me. I don't say anything. Just step away and grab my phone again. No new messages. No service. I open the camera instead. Swipe to the front-facing lens. My own face stares back at me, pale and tired, dark circles under my eyes. I angle the camera behind me toward Maya. She's still watching me. Her head tilts, just slightly. The second she sees the screen, she looks away. My stomach twists. Gonna step outside, I say. She doesn't react. I walk to the door, slide the chain loose, and turn the lock. For a second, I hesitate, the alert running through my head again. Do not trust the ones who remember. What if that means me? I shove the thought away and step out onto the porch. The street is too quiet. No wind. No birds. No passing cars. Just an empty, waiting silence. The Hendersons' ugly flamingo stands in their yard, exactly where it's always been. But there's something wrong with it. The paint looks too fresh. The color's too crisp, like it was put there today. I swallow hard and step forward. The air is thick. Wrong. Like the whole neighborhood is holding its breath. Across the street, Mrs. Lee is sitting on her porch. Her hands rest in her lap. Her mouth is slightly open, lips moving, but no sound is coming out. Just like Mr. Dawson. My heart is pounding now. I force myself to keep walking. Every step too loud against the pavement. The farther I go, the worse it gets. The town feels staged. A dog is sitting in someone's yard. A golden retriever, perfectly groomed, staring at nothing. Its mouth is slightly open, panting without making a sound. A man is washing his car, moving the sponge in slow, deliberate circles. A woman stands at the corner, holding her child's hand. Neither of them move. Something is wrong. So wrong. I turn the corner and freeze. A bulletin board stands outside City Hall. The kind used for missing person flyers, event notices. It's covered in papers. I step closer, my pulse hammering now. The faces are all the same. Not literally, but almost. Each poster has a different name, a different missing date. But the faces, the eyes, the shape of their noses, their mouths, they all look like variations of the same person. Slightly different, slightly off, like a bad copy printed over and over. My vision blurs. My stomach twists. I take a step back, and my shoe scuffs against pavement. A sound. The first real sound in this dead, waiting town. And every head on the street snaps toward me at once. I don't remember running home. I don't remember bursting through the front door, slamming the lock back into place. But suddenly I'm there, panting, shaking. Maya is still sitting on the couch. She looks up at me, and for the first time today, her expression changes. Not confusion, not worry, something else. Something close to disappointment. The emergency broadcast plays again. The same robotic voice, over and over. Do not trust family members acting strange. Shelter in place. I open my mouth to say something, to demand answers. But before I can, the voice on the TV glitches again. The distortion rips through the speakers. A warped, crawling sound beneath the robotic tone. This time, I hear the words clearly. If you begin to feel different, isolate yourself. My throat closes. Maya tilts her head. She is watching me, waiting. And for the first time, I wonder, what if I'm the one who's changing? Maya watches me. I can feel it. The way her eyes move, tracking every twitch, every shift in my breathing. Like she's waiting for something to happen. The emergency broadcast is still playing. The words loop over and over, robotic and steady. Do not trust family members acting strange. Shelter in place. But the glitch stays with me. That warped voice, crawling beneath the warning. If you begin to feel different, isolate yourself. I try to push the words away, but my pulse is hammering. My skin feels too tight. Something is wrong. With the town. With Maya. With me. I sit on the couch. The cushions feel too firm. Like they haven't been used in days. Maya stays where she is, hands resting on her lap. Too still. I went outside, I say. My voice sounds distant. She nods slow. I know. Something about the way she says it makes my stomach turn. Like she expected me to. Like she knew I wouldn't be able to help myself. I swallow. The town is wrong. Maya blinks once. Then she tilts her head, just slightly. What do you mean? I grip my knees. Think. They're all off, I say. Dawson. Mrs. Lee. Even the dog. They're all just standing there. Whispering. Watching. Waiting. Maya's face doesn't change. They aren't acting normal, I push. Maya just stares at me. Then finally, what's normal? Her voice is soft. Careful. A cold shiver moves up my spine. I open my mouth to argue, to explain, but the words die before I can say them. Because suddenly I can't remember. What is normal? The thought crawls under my skin, burrows deep. I try to recall yesterday. What was different? I woke up, went to work, talked to Maya, but the details feel blurry, fuzzy at the edges. What did I eat? What did I wear? What was the last thing I said before bed? I don't remember. I rub my arms, suddenly cold. The TV buzzes softly. The emergency alert still looping. The same words over and over. But when I glance at the screen, a new line has appeared at the bottom. If you cannot remember yesterday, do not leave your home. I stop breathing. Slowly, I lift my phone. The emergency alert is still there. Do not trust the ones who remember. But now I don't know what's worse. Remembering something that feels wrong. Or not remembering at all. The clock ticks. A slow, steady sound. I don't know how much time passes. Minutes. Hours. The sun outside is stuck in the same place. Just hovering behind gray clouds. Like it hasn't moved at all. I stand. I need to check something. Maya doesn't stop me. I move to the hallway. My feet feel heavy. The floorboard's cold under my toes. I stop in front of the bathroom mirror. My fingers tremble as I turn on the light. And then, I see myself. At first, I think I look normal. Same messy hair. Same tired eyes. But the longer I stare, the more I notice. The color in my irises seems too dark. My pupils too large. The veins in my arms press too close to my skin, as if my body is thinner than it should be. My hands shake. I grip the counter. No, I'm just tired. I look down at my palms. When was the last time I felt hungry? My stomach clenches, but not with hunger. With something else. I don't remember eating. I don't remember sleeping. The emergency alert blasts from the living room again. The robotic voice cutting through my thoughts like a knife. Do not trust family members acting strange. Do not trust the ones who remember. If you cannot remember yesterday, do not leave your home. A horrible thought blooms in my mind. What if I don't belong here? I stumble back into the living room. My breath is short. Maya is sitting exactly where I left her. She looks up, smiles. You okay? Her voice is so normal it makes my skin crawl. I force a nod. My throat feels tight. I swallow. I think I should lie down. Maya watches me. That's a good idea. She says it too easily. I walk to my room. Shut the door. My heart is pounding. I grab my phone. The screen glitches as I open my notes app. The text flickers, warping, but I manage to type. I am me. I am real. I am not changing. I stare at the words. And then I hear it. A soft, muffled noise. I freeze. Listen. The closet. The sound is coming from the closet. I step forward, my body moving before my brain can stop me. My breath is shallow. Every instinct is screaming at me not to look. But I have to. I reach out, grip the handle. Slowly, I pull the door open. And inside, a pair of eyes stare back at me, wide, terrified. My own face. A mirror? No, because the other me is curled in the corner, shaking. Dressed in yesterday's clothes. Their lips part. A voice, weak and hoarse from screaming. Don't trust her. She isn't Maya. The door slams shut. And I am dragged away. Hands clamp around my wrists. My legs are dragging. Someone is pulling me. No. Something. I thrash, kick, fight. The carpet burns against my skin as I struggle, but the grip is too strong. My body won't move right. Maya's voice drifts through the haze. Calm. Soft. It's okay. I twist my neck. She's standing over me, head tilted. Watching. Not helping. Just watching. Panic rips through me. I jerk, wrench my arm, but the hands don't let go. They aren't hers. I look down. My stomach drops. I'm pulling myself. The hands on my wrists, they're my own. A second me is dragging me across the floor. Same face, same arms, same panicked, wide-eyed expression. But its grip is too strong. Unnatural. A sickening thought tears through my brain. Which one of us is real? I slam my heel into its ribs. A sharp, breathy wheeze, then the grip loosens. I yank free, scrambling backward. The second me lurches, reaching, but I slam the closet door shut before it can crawl out. A solid thud against the wood. Then silence. My chest is heaving. My hands shaking. The emergency broadcast screeches. Do not trust family members acting strange. Do not trust the ones who remember. If you cannot remember yesterday, do not leave your home. If you see yourself, do not engage. The room spins. Maya steps forward. You're okay, she says. You're okay now. Her voice is too calm, too steady. I can't breathe. She kneels beside me, gently reaches out, fingertips brushing my arm. You should rest. She's too close. The closet is behind me. Something else is in there. And Maya isn't Maya. I bolt. The front door slams behind me. My lungs burn. My legs ache. But I don't stop running. The street is still too quiet. The air too thick. Every house exactly the same. The neighbors are standing there, staring. Mrs. Lee, Mr. Dawson, the man washing his car, the woman holding her child. They watch me as I pass. Their lips move, whispering something I can't hear. I don't stop. I run until my chest aches, until my knees wobble, until my house is just a dark shape in the distance. Then I slow, force myself to breathe. Think. The town doesn't make sense. The missing posters, the faces that look the same, the alert. Do not trust the ones who remember. And now, the thing in the closet, the me in the closet. I force myself to move. I need to find someone real, someone who isn't just standing there waiting. I take the next turn, toward the police station. The station is empty. The front door is unlocked. The lobby still, silent. A half-eaten sandwich sits on the receptionist's desk. The coffee pot still warm, but no one is here. No police, no staff, just empty chairs and unfinished meals. The emergency alert plays from the radio behind the desk. The same voice, the same warnings. Then, the glitch. The robotic tone distorts, warping into something else. The voice that creeps through the static is soft. Tired. We were wrong. My breath catches. The voice doesn't sound robotic anymore. It sounds like a person. I step closer, turn the volume up. If you see yourself, do not engage. If you see yourself, do not engage. If you see, a horrible static shriek. I flinch back. The speakers hiss, crackling. Then silence. The radio shuts off. A heavy, weighted quiet settles in the station. I feel it before I hear it. A presence. Behind me. I turn slowly. And I see them. Me. Lined up, standing in the hall. 7. Maybe 8 of them. All identical. My face. My eyes. My expressions. Some wear old clothes. Clothes I remember owning. Some have bruises on their arms. Wounds I recognize. Injuries I've had before. But they aren't mirrors. They're me. Copies. Versions. One of them tilts their head. Another smiles. And then, they all move toward me at once. I run. My shoes slam against the tile. The other me's follow. Their footsteps overlapping mine. A door, asterisk, asterisk, an exit. Asterisk, asterisk, I barrel through it. Cold air hits me. The world spins. I stagger into the alley behind the station. The town is silent. The sky is wrong. Too gray. Too still. I can't breathe. I turn back, slam the door shut. But the glass is reflective. And I see them. The copies of me. Standing just behind the door. Watching. Their lips move. I can't hear them. But I know what they're saying. Because I see it in their mouths. The words I already heard, playing over and over in my head. We were wrong. We were wrong. We were wrong. My stomach drops. The emergency alert wasn't a warning. It was a confession, and it was too late. I don't know how long I stand there. The glass door is cold against my back, my pulse slamming against my ribs. The copies of me don't move. They just stand there watching. Their faces are my face. Their arms are my arms. And yet, they aren't me. Their eyes are too still. They're breathing too shallow. Perfect imitations, but missing something. Something I don't have a name for. Something that makes me real. I should run, but I can't. Because if I move, they will too. The air in the alley is thick. Heavy, like I'm breathing something that isn't air. I glance up. The sky is still gray. Too gray. Like a picture with the saturation drained out. Like the sun forgot to rise. I don't know how long it's been like this. I don't remember. I don't trust my own memory anymore. A sound. A footstep. My stomach knots. I turn my head. Slow. One of the copies moves. A tiny shift, an inch forward. My blood turns to ice. It moved because I did. They're copying me. Not perfectly, not instantly. But when I breathe, they breathe. When I blink, they blink. Delayed. Offbeat. Like they're waiting for direction. I lift my hand just slightly. Half a second later, one of them does the same. Not all of them. Just one. The closest one. A horrible thought crawls up my spine. They aren't just copying me. They're learning. I force myself to move. I take a step back. Then another. They don't follow right away. They wait. They watch. Then the closest one moves. A second behind me. Another step. Another copy follows. I feel like I'm walking into my own reflection. Like the mirror has shattered and the pieces are crawling toward me. I don't know what happens if they catch up. I don't want to know. A voice. Too close. Why are you running? I freeze. The words come from behind me. Not the copies. Someone else. I whip around. A man stands at the edge of the alley. Tall. Gaunt. Dressed in a police uniform. But his badge is blank. No name. No department. Just a smooth silver plate. Like it was never engraved. His face is tired. His hands clasped too tightly together. His eyes don't move. They just stay locked on me. I don't speak. I don't trust my voice. Because if I speak, he might copy me too. He takes a step forward. I take one back. He tilts his head. You shouldn't be here, he says. His voice is too flat. Too empty. I swallow. My throat is dry. Where should I be? He blinks. Once. Then slowly he smiles. You already know. My stomach drops. Because the way he smiles, it's like Maya's. Like Mrs. Lee's. Like the copies. I turn and run. My feet hit pavement. My breath ragged. I don't look back. The streets blur past me. The houses are too clean. The cars parked in the same positions as yesterday. The people are still standing. Still watching. Whispering in voices I can't hear. I don't stop. I don't stop until I see it. My house. The front door is open. And standing in the doorway. Maya. Her face is calm. Hands at her sides. She doesn't look surprised to see me. She looks like she's been waiting. I skid to a stop. My heart pounding. Maya steps forward. Slowly. I shake my head. Step back. Maya. She tilts her head. Smiles. You already know. The same words. The same smile. Like the policeman. Like the copies. Like she's one of them. I back away. She follows. Perfectly. Like a reflection. Like a copy. Like something wearing Maya's face. I don't go inside. I can't. Instead, I move around the house. To the backyard. I need time. I need to think. The air is heavy. The world too silent. I press my palms against my forehead. Breathe. The copies. The missing people. The emergency alert. We were wrong. I squeeze my eyes shut. What did they do? What did they let in? A sharp creak. The back door opens. Footsteps. I don't turn. Because I already know. Maya. Or what pretends to be her. She stops just behind me. Close. Too close. Her breath warm against my neck. She leans forward. Whispers. You don't have to fight it. My hands clench into fists. She laughs. Not loudly. Not mockingly. Just softly. Like she knows something I don't. And maybe she does. I turn. She's still smiling. Her head tilts. And then, she moves. Fast. Too fast. I don't get the chance to scream. Pain. A sharp, electric current, like my skull is splitting open. My body jerks. Can't move. Can't breathe. Something is wrong. My vision flickers. My limbs lock. I feel disconnected, like my body isn't mine, like I'm watching myself from somewhere else. Maya did something to me. I come back slowly. The world is wrong. Too bright. Too sharp. Colors seem off. My skin tingles with something cold. The backyard is still. Silent. I don't know how much time has passed. Seconds? Minutes? Hours? I sit up. My head swims. I look down at my hands. They look normal. They feel normal. But something isn't right. I press my palm against my forehead. Try to remember. Maya. The backyard. The copies. And then, a lapse. A cut in my memory. Like something edited me. I stand. My legs feel too steady. My balance too perfect. It should be harder to move after what happened. It's not. I should feel dizzy. I don't. I should feel pain. I don't. It doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. The house is quiet. The back door is open. Maya's gone. The emergency alert plays from the living room. The same monotone warning, the same distorted glitch. I step inside. My footsteps sound different, like they belong to someone else. The mirror above the fireplace catches my eye. I don't want to look. I have to. I turn. My reflection stares back. It looks like me, but it isn't. I know that immediately, because the person in the mirror is too still. Their chest isn't rising. Their fingers aren't twitching. And then, they blink. A half second too late. My stomach turns to ice. I lift my hand. The reflection lifts its hand. Delayed. Wrong. Offbeat. My breath catches. I lower my arm. The reflection does the same, too slowly. It's mimicking me, but it's not me. It's a copy. But that means I'm the copy. I'm the copy. The emergency alert crackles. Do not trust yourself. Do not trust yourself. I stumble backward. The floor spins. I grip the edge of the counter. I'm not real. My reflection moves again, this time without me. It smiles. A slow, knowing curve of the lips. And then softly it speaks. You already know. I run. Out of the house. Into the street. The sky is still gray. Unmoving. The neighborhood is too quiet. The people still there. Still standing. Watching. But now, they're smiling. Their heads tilting. Perfectly synchronized. I know what they're going to say before they say it. Soft. Calm. You already know. I keep running. The police station is empty when I get there. Still untouched. The half-eaten sandwich. The warm coffee. Like time hasn't moved at all. I stumble to the radio. Turn the volume up. The emergency alert hisses through the static. Then, the glitch. A voice deep beneath the distortion. Soft. Weak. We made a mistake. I grip the desk. Hard. It spreads by memory. By awareness. The more you understand, the less real you become. Do not remember. Do not question. The static screeches. I flinch. Then, a final whisper hidden beneath the static. You are already gone. The radio dies. A dead, humming silence. I press a hand against my chest. Feel my heartbeat. It's there. It's real. I am real. I have to be. I have to be. A shadow falls over me. I turn. The policeman stands in the doorway. His blank badge catches the dim light. His mouth moves, slow and deliberate. Are you lost? I don't answer. His eyes flicker, watching me too closely. You look confused, he says. His voice is too familiar. Like I've heard it before. Like I've said it before. You shouldn't be here, he murmurs. He steps forward. I step back. You already know, he says. And this time I hear it. His voice. It's my own. Low. Soft. Perfectly matched. My stomach drops. He tilts his head. His lips curve into a mirror of my own smile. You don't have to fight it, he says. The exact words Maya whispered. The exact intonation. Like he's playing back a recording of my own voice. My legs lock. I can't move. Because I finally understand. I am not myself. I never was. I've been watching my own reflection move on its own. Because I am the reflection. And the real me is already gone. I don't know when I stopped running. I thought I was still moving, but my feet were still frozen to the pavement. The world around me was still, too still. The same gray sky, the same empty street. People still standing, unmoving, their faces locked in those unnatural smiles. I didn't stop because I wanted to. I stopped because I couldn't remember what I was running from. The air smells wrong, like rotting fruit, heavy damp, like something in the atmosphere has been replaced. I try to look at them, the people still standing in front of me. They don't blink. They just smile. No one says anything. They don't need to. They all know. They've always known. I reach for my phone, hoping to find something that proves I'm still real. I check the screen. No messages. No calls. I swipe through the apps, trying to find something familiar, something that can ground me. But every app is empty. The messages are just blank, as if they never existed. I can't remember the last time I sent a message, or the last time someone texted me. Everything is fading, and I can't stop it. I hear a noise, a crackling sound. It comes from behind me. I turn. There's a man, standing at the edge of the street. His face is familiar. I don't recognize him, but I do. Like I've seen him before in a dream, or maybe a memory that's been wiped clean. He smiles. Another one. His eyes are hollow, empty. No spark. Nothing. But somehow, I know that if I stare long enough, I'll find myself in those eyes. Somehow, I know that face has seen everything I've seen. He knows me. He steps forward. And then, I see the others, more people, standing just behind him. A crowd. A mass of empty faces. They look the same. Too perfect. Everything about them is smooth, like they're made of wax. Like their skin hasn't ever touched the sun. I start backing away, but the man follows. His eyes never leave mine. The crowd behind him starts moving too, one step after another, until they're all following him. Like they're mimicking me, but I don't remember moving. I feel the weight of the world shifting beneath my feet. Everything is wrong. I try to scream, but the sound is just a breathless exhale. The air is thick, heavy, like my lungs can't get enough oxygen. I want to run. I need to run. I push through the crowd, my shoulders brushing against theirs. They don't react. They don't flinch. I turn my head. There are more. In every direction. On every corner. More empty faces. More smiles. More people moving in perfect unison. They're all staring at me. The distance between us is closing. I push forward again, but this time there's nowhere to go. The world is too small. Too close. I feel their presence. It presses in on me, wrapping around me like a noose. I try to breathe, but my breath is trapped inside. I need to get out. I look for something, anything, that will get me out of this. I need to get away from them. I can't think. Can't think. I keep running. I'm not sure where to, but I have to go. I have to run. The world flashes. A jarring, wrenching moment, like I've been yanked from one place to another. And suddenly, I'm not in the street anymore. I'm somewhere else. The walls are cold, too cold to touch. The floor is metal. I look around. There's no door. No window. Nothing. Just the oppressive feeling that I'm trapped. I can't see beyond the walls, and I can't remember how I got here. I look down at my hands, searching for something real. Nothing feels real. I don't remember who I am. I can't even remember how I was standing before. It's like I'm floating. I hear a noise. A loud clank. Then voices. Familiar voices. The sound of my mother, my father, my brother. I stand up. I don't know where the voices are coming from, but I know they're calling my name. We're waiting. I look toward the source of the voices, and a figure appears. It's him again, the man from the street. But now he's wearing a uniform, a military uniform. And behind him, standing in line, are others. Faces I've seen before, faces I thought I could trust. The people in my life. But they're not real. They can't be. I take a step back. I feel a cold sweat creeping across my forehead. "You're here," he says. I hear his voice and recognize it, even though I shouldn't. It's my voice. It's my voice speaking back to me. I try to speak, but I can't. I open my mouth, but the words don't come. I'm frozen. A puppet. A marionette. The man steps forward. "You can't leave," he says, his words soft, familiar. "But why? What do you want from me?" He smiles. "You already know." I take a step back. No, I don't know. I don't know what's happening to me. But I do know one thing. The man. He's me. I run. I have to. I don't know where I'm running, but I have to go somewhere. Somewhere where everything doesn't feel like it's closing in. I need to breathe. I need to find out what happened. But I don't think I will. Because every step I take, every move I make, I see them. I see them all. Watching me. Smiling. Waiting. And the world, as I know it, is never coming back. I can't breathe. I clutch my chest, but it doesn't help. My lungs feel like they're filled with cement, heavy, unyielding. The world is pressing in from all sides, and every step I take feels like I'm sinking deeper. They're still watching. They're still waiting. I try to run, but I can't. It's like the ground beneath me has turned into quicksand. The more I struggle, the more I feel myself sinking. The faces blur together. The smiles, the eyes, they're all the same. I push harder, but nothing changes. The man in the uniform steps closer. His eyes don't blink, don't even seem to see me. He just keeps walking, his smile as cold and deliberate as ever. Why? I ask, my voice barely a whisper. He doesn't answer. He doesn't need to. His hand extends, reaching toward me, but it's not my hand. It's the hand of someone who doesn't belong. I flinch back, but it's too late. He's already inside me. His fingers grip my skin, cold, mechanical. I can feel him taking over, like he's pulling the very soul from me. A parasite, everything shifts. I hear the sound of a door slamming open, but it's not real. None of this is real. I turn instinctively, but there's no escaping this. The truth has already been told, and now I have to live with it. The darkness begins to stretch. It swallows everything, the street, the buildings, the sky, until all that remains is a gray void. The people, the crowd, they're gone. And in their place, the silence is unbearable. I look down at my hands again. They're not mine. I don't know whose hands they are anymore. I don't know if I even have a body. Everything about me is fading, like water pouring out of a glass. I want to stop it. I want to hold on to something, anything. But there's nothing left. The air is too thick to breathe. The world is too empty to exist in. I turn around instinctively, but there's only more darkness, more empty space. And the man is still there, standing in the center, still smiling. I can't remember why I was running. I can't remember why I even cared. The man steps forward. Every movement is perfect, too human. You've already lost, he says, his voice a hollow echo of my own. I don't know if I want to scream or cry. It doesn't matter. The ground beneath me crumbles. I feel the earth give way, and I plummet. There's no air, no sound, just the feeling of falling into a bottomless void. My stomach turns, but I can't feel the panic anymore. The fall is endless. I wake up on the cold metal floor again. I don't know how I got here. I don't remember falling. I don't remember anything anymore. The world is still. The air is still. But I don't feel still. I feel like I'm shaking. I look around. There's nothing. Just the emptiness. I stand up, my legs weak. I walk through the void. There are no walls. No doors. Just infinite space. I don't know what I'm searching for. I don't know if it matters. Suddenly the air shifts. The light bends, and I see them. The faces. The people. They're back. But they're not real. They're just reflections. Shadows of what was once alive. They don't speak. They don't need to. They know. I stand in the middle of them, surrounded by faces that look like mine. I want to scream, but the sound won't come. I want to run, but there's nowhere to go. I don't exist here. I never did. The man appears again, standing just behind me. He watches, unblinking, unmoving. His hand rests on my shoulder, but I don't feel it. I feel nothing. I told you, he says, his voice smooth, soothing. You already know. His breath is cold on the back of my neck. His touch is too familiar. The world spins. It warps. It melts. The gray void becomes liquid, stretching and folding into itself. The walls twist. The air moves with it, as though everything is breathing. I feel myself slipping away again. The faces blur, and the man in the uniform steps forward, his smile growing wider. You were always meant to be here. I try to move. I try to get away, but the floor shifts beneath my feet. My legs are weak, and my head spins. I want to scream. I want to do something to fight it. But there's nothing left to fight. The smiles are the last thing I see before everything goes black. And when I wake up, there's no more man, no more people, no more world. Just emptiness, endless, silent. And I understand now. It was always me. I was never real. I was never meant to be. I was always meant to disappear into the void. The world ends, and so do I. Everything is gone. Everything is erased. I don't remember when I last felt fear, or when I last felt anything. I know I should feel something, but all I feel now is a strange, numb peace. There's no light here, no warmth, just cold, empty space. The air doesn't move. It doesn't breathe. It doesn't exist in a way that makes sense. I blink, but it doesn't help. I try to look around, but the world is nothing but a blur. I don't even know if I'm standing. Am I even still here? The darkness is all-encompassing. I don't even know if my own thoughts have substance anymore. It's all just blank. I hear the echo of my own voice. A whisper. Maybe it's mine, Or maybe it's the voice of someone who never was. Where am I? I don't know who I'm asking. I don't know who would answer. There's a crack. A sliver of light cuts through the darkness. It's almost too bright to look at, but I can't look away. I feel myself drawn to it, pulled like a magnet. My feet, do I have feet, move toward it. I take one step, then another. The light becomes more than just light. It's warmth. It's life. It feels like something is reaching for me. I don't know if I should reach back, but something pulls at me, a familiar feeling. I remember it, though I can't place where from. It feels like it's always been here, like it's always been a part of me. And then I hear it, the sound of voices. But they're not the same as the ones I remember. They're colder, more distant. I can't tell if they're real, but I hear them, repeating over and over. Do not trust family members acting strange. I know I've heard this before. It's the message, the emergency alert, the warning. But who is warning me? Who is it that's speaking? I try to move closer to the light, but there's a sense of heaviness, like the air itself is trying to hold me back, trying to keep me here. I push through, step by step, until the light becomes all-encompassing. And then I'm there. I'm not alone anymore. The faces return. The people who were once so familiar are standing in front of me. But their eyes have changed. Their expressions are all wrong. They're smiling again. The smile. That same smile. The one that never felt human. It's like they're all just waiting for something that will never happen. I open my mouth to speak, but nothing comes out. I can't scream. I can't say anything. I can't even move. They're still watching, still waiting. The man in the military uniform appears in front of me. He's smiling again. But this time, I don't feel afraid. It's strange, almost comforting. You're finally here, he says. His voice is cold. His face, it's the same as mine. I don't understand. What does he mean by finally? Why does he look like me? But the answer doesn't come. I don't need to ask. I already know. The moment stretches. Time has no meaning. It feels like everything is happening at once, and at the same time, nothing is happening at all. I see myself, no, the other me, standing in front of me, smiling. The room, no, the space around us is empty. There are no walls, no sky. I reach out, my hands trembling, but I can't touch him. I can't touch anything. The voices are louder now. They're all around me. They're saying it again. Do not trust family members acting strange. I close my eyes, but the words don't stop. They're inside my mind, echoing in my head. And I know in some deep place I can't name that this is the end. I open my eyes again, and everything is different. The man is gone. The faces are gone. I'm alone again. But I'm not. I'm never alone. The message has already been given. I understand now. The truth is there, buried somewhere in the silence. I don't know what's real. I don't know who I am. I don't know if this moment is the beginning or the end. The light around me fades. The darkness grows. I feel myself slipping, fading. But the message is still there. The warning. I think it's too late. I think I've always known it was too late. But that doesn't matter now. It never mattered. The last thing I hear is the echo of my own voice, repeating that same warning. Do not trust family members acting strange. And then silence. Absolute silence.